Hi, I'm Sandy Weiner, and I want to talk about 6 things that you're doing that are keeping you single and how you can stop doing them and turn things around for you so you can find love. So, the first thing that you're doing, number one, is you are not leaving your house. A lot of people who are single just don't get out, and that may seem pretty logical, but it's really true that you're not going to find love by meeting the UPS guy or your mailman or somebody dropping out of the sky and landing at your door. So instead of staying home, one of my top tips is to go to meetups. Meetup.com is such a fabulous source for people who are single. You just sign up if you've never tried it before. You go on meetup.com and you can enter anything that you're interested in. Say you're a biker, a hiker, you like art, you like music. You sign up and they will guide you towards the meetups that are happening in your area. So I have gone on hiking meetups and met amazing people. I went to an improvisation meetup a few weeks ago and met a guy and I went out with him. It's a great place to go, actually, to release your inner child, which is something that many of us really can benefit from when it comes to dating. So go to meetups. Another tip to do when you leave your house is don't look at your phone when you're out. Look up instead of down. We often are on our cell phones, looking down, checking Facebook, whatever you're checking, texting. You're never going to meet people if you're not looking up. So I challenge you to find 3 men a day that you smile at and make eye contact with. So smile, make eye contact, say hello to 3 men a day. And soon you'll start meeting some amazing people. Okay, the second thing that you're doing is not taking responsibility for your share. So what I mean by that is if you are single, and even if you've been in horrible relationships, it takes 2 to tango. And if you're single and you don't want to be, here's what you should do instead. You should look for patterns in all the people that you've dated. So make a list of everybody that you've gone out with and look for what's good and for what did not work. And you're going to start to see the patterns of maybe you met them all in a similar way. Perhaps they all spoke to you in a certain way. They usually have certain character traits that are not healthy that you need to break. So once you can name the pattern, you can break the pattern. And if it's hard for you to do that on your own, then reach out for help, find a coach, find a therapist, somebody who can help you to really identify what your share is. It's not all your share, but part of it is. And so the more you can know about what you're bringing to the table, the more you can find love and really break those patterns. The thing is that your attitude and how you approach the process of dating and the people that you meet when you're out on dates are all contingent upon finding love. So not only do you want to break the patterns, but you also want to have a great attitude. So really work on your approach to dating and make sure that you're not bringing negativity to your dates. Okay, another thing that you're doing is that your expectations are not realistic. Okay, and a couple ways that shows up is that women expect men to be just like them and to act just like them, and to respond to you in the way that your friends would or the way that you would respond. And here's what you should do instead. Understand that men are not women and that they don't respond exactly the way you do or your friends do. And we as women are naturally better communicators. We're better at expressing our emotions. So if you don't really understand that men don't always mean what you think they mean, then you're going to continue to blame them, get angry at them, and misunderstand them. And that's a really, really important thing. That is why I teach communication skills. It's why in my upcoming course, I'm going to teach you how to understand men so that you know how to communicate with them. And I'm going to give you the scripts to help you to talk about anything even the really hard stuff. So I'm going to put a link to that course in the notes below. Men are not mind readers, and that's really important to remember. So the more you can express yourself fully to men, the more you're going to be able to find love, because men love a fully expressed woman who is clear, who is concise, who knows how to talk about what she feels and what she needs, and talks about when her feelings are hurt in a way that is connected and full of grace. Okay, another expectation is that you expect your man to show up like Prince Charming. And while you may think that's silly, we really have been trained to think that he's going to be this macho man who's going to swoop in and be a take charge guy who's going to just be there for you every step of the way. So that's not realistic. You want to expect a man who does exist in real life, and really a human being, not a fairy tale. So because we're not 25 anymore, we are now in our 40s, 50s, 60s, really have to understand how men are at this stage in life. And they're often tired. They've been initiating everything, taking charge their whole lives. And so it's not because they're lazy and they're not showing up the way you think they should show up. But it could be because they want you to show up too. They're at a stage in their lives where they want more equitable relationship. And actually most women want that too. So this is a much deeper conversation, but don't expect Prince Charming. And don't expect men to do all the work, because grown-up men are human beings, like I said, and the more dating skills you can learn, like how to flirt like a person who's mature. I just had a call with my inner circle yesterday with Alice Caravias, who's a flirting expert, and she taught women how to flirt at this age, because so many of you, including me, when you first start dating after a long relationship has ended and you haven't dated in a long time, it can be really awkward to flirt. And so how do you flirt at this age? Well, one thing that you can do, and this is a tip that Alice shared, is if you share vulnerability on a date, that is actually very appealing to a man, and it's a very flirty way to connect with him. So if you're nervous and you're on a date, just say, you know what, I'm really nervous. That's actually, it's flirty and it's feminine, and he will rise up like a good guy, will puff out his chest, and he will want to be there to make you feel at ease. So that's a great tip from Alice. Okay, the next tip on what you're doing that's keeping you single is you're burning yourself out by doing the wrong things in dating. So instead of doing lots of things that aren't working, look at what you are doing and figure out what's standing in your way. Because out of all the men that you've dated, out of all the relationships that you've had, you're the only common denominator. So if you need to get help again to figure out what it is that you're doing that's wasting your time, burning you out, find out from a coach, from a therapist, because you want to stop spinning your wheels. And this goes for online dating in particular. So many people go on to online dating and they do it ineffectively. They post a profile that's not effective. They post photos that are ineffective. And then they get lots of emails from men who they don't like, and they say online dating doesn't work. Well, often they're passive. They're not emailing men and taking initiative. They're not posting a profile that gets the attention of a man. They don't know how to email effectively so that a man will respond. So all of these things are so critical in learning how to date effectively. Okay, and tip number 6 is you're listening to the wrong advice from the wrong people, and you're not getting the right kind of support. And what you should do instead is stop listening to people like your girlfriends or family members who will just bash on whoever you're dating who, maybe you had a bad experience. They're just going to say, that guy's a jerk, don't date him anymore. Well, there's learning to be had in every experience that didn't work out. And so that is not the most helpful advice. It's not helpful to wallow or to vent constantly, because what happens is you start really hating on men. And men are really wonderful people. It's really dangerous to start blaming all men for a problem that you had with one or two men. So a good coach or therapist can really help you to unblock yourself and to stop listening to your friends who mean well but are giving you advice that is not helpful. And I actually have a lot of clients who have friends who are not supportive at all. They don't really get dating at this age. And so you want to be in a community of people who understand you. And one of the ways you can do that is to join my Facebook group. It's called Your Last First Date. So if you're not a member already, it's a fabulous group of women who are so supportive. And I'm on there all the time to provide real positive support to help you really find love. So I want to remind you again about my communications course. It's coming up on May 12th, and it's 4 weeks long. You'll learn how to identify and express your own emotions, which is really critical. You'll learn how to understand men, and you'll learn how to communicate with them in a way that they can hear and respond to, and it will help you on your path to love. We even have an amazing man panel that comes to our last session, a group of incredible men who really get how to talk to women, and this is such an important part of the course. So I hope you'll join us and join my group, join my course, and I want you to go on your last first date.